Coming in at 9, Daisy Ridley, endometriosis. Star Wars star Daisy Ridley has very publicly shared her struggle with endometriosis, which, for those who don't know, is a condition in which cells similar to those in the endometrium, the layer of tissue that normally covers the inside of the uterus, grows outside of it, and in rare cases it may occur in other parts of the body. The main symptoms are pelvic pain and infertility, with nearly half affected having chronic pain during menstruation, and pain during sex. Daisy took to Instagram to share her story, stating, 8 years ago after being diagnosed, pain was back, more mild this time, and my skin was the worst. I tried everything, products, antibiotics, more antibiotics, and all that did was left my body in a bit of a mess. Finally found out I have polycystic ovaries and that's why it's bad. I can safely say feeling so self-conscious has left my confidence in tatters. I hate wearing makeup, but I currently don't want to leave the house without it on. However, progress is being made. My point is, to any of you who are suffering with anything, go to a doctor, pay for a specialist, get your hormones tested, get allergy testing, keep on top of how your body is feeling, and don't worry about sounding like a hypochondriac. From your head to the tips of your toes, we only have one body. Let's all make sure ours are working in tip-top condition and take help if it's needed. I couldn't agree more. Coming in at 8, Kim Kardashian West, psoriasis. Awareness about psoriasis definitely went up when it was revealed that the most photographed woman on the planet had it. Psoriasis is a common skin condition that speeds up the life cycle of skin cells, causing cells to build up rapidly on the surface of the skin, which results in red patches that are itchy and oftentimes painful. In an old episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim initially freaked out over the skin condition, however she has since taken on a more serene approach, even stating that she isn't trying to cover it up anymore. I quote, "I'm always hoping for a cure, of course, but in the meantime, I'm learning to just accept it as part of who I am." Coming at 6, Lady Gaga, fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a disorder characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues. It is also known to amplify painful sensations by affecting the way your brain processes pain signals. Symptoms often begin after a physical trauma, surgery, infection, or significant psychological stress. According to the NHS, it tends to affect women 7 times more than men, and on top of that, there is no cure. However, symptoms can be relieved through medications, therapy, and lifestyle changes. Gaga has opened up numerous times in the past about her experience with the illness, specifically after the singer was forced to cancel a concert in Brazil because she was taken to hospital with severe pain. Coming in at 5, Nick Jonas, type 1 diabetes. Nick Jonas was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was just 13 years old, which he described as one of the most frightening moments of his life. The Jonas Brothers speaks frankly about it in the Amazon documentary about the brothers, but he has also been very open about his condition from a young age. For those who don't know, type 1 diabetes is a disease in which the pancreas does not produce any insulin. Insulin is a hormone that helps your body control the level of glucose, aka sugar, in your blood. The singer discussed his diagnosis, stating, "I was shocked at first, and my family was just as panicked. But the real scare was I had to quickly learn so much. It was completely overwhelming." Since his diagnosis, Nick has been wearing the Dexcom continuous glucose monitor, which sends him his blood sugar every 5 minutes. In at 4, Bella Hadid, Lyme disease. Lyme disease, also known as Lyme borreliosis, is an infectious disease caused by a bacterium called Borrelia spread by ticks. When it is not detected early, it can cause long-lasting symptoms such as pain in the joints, problems affecting the nervous system, extreme fatigue, and heart problems. Bella stated that her disease once got so out of hand it left her battling to even move. I quote, "I couldn't get out of bed for 6 days. My brain would get all foggy and I couldn't see. That was the hardest time of my life." The model also told Glamour in 2016, I quote, "I'm really tired a lot. A few weeks ago I had a big campaign shoot that I had to reschedule. It's hard, but I pushed through because at the end of the day, if you're not working, somebody else is." So true. Coming in at 3, Michael J. Fox, Parkinson's. The Back to the Future actor has always been open about his Parkinson's diagnosis, which he received when he was 29 back in 1991, a disease that is traditionally associated with older people. Parkinson's is where the brain becomes increasingly damaged and is characterized by shaking. The actor stated, I quote, "I was diagnosed 25 years ago and I was only supposed to work for another 10 years. I was supposed to be pretty much disabled by now. I'm far from it. This is as bad as I get and I can still go to the store and go marketing." Since the beginning, he's been on a crusade to help find a cure and ways to potentially prevent more cases of the condition, with his Michael J. Fox Foundation funding more than $800 million in medical research to date. Coming in at 2, Selena Gomez, lupus. Lupus is a systemic autoimmune disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks your own tissues and organs. It can affect many different body systems, including your joints, skin, kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. Selena Gomez revealed back in 2015 that she had lupus, which affected her kidneys, resulting in her undergoing a kidney transplant in 2017. The singer states, I quote, "Maybe I wasn't necessarily really good at knowing what that meant, so it actually got to a point where it was life or death. Thankfully, one of my best friends gave me her kidney, and it was the ultimate gift of life, and I'm doing quite well now. I think it's safe to say we're all happy she's recovering and living her best life." And finally, coming in at number 1, Selma Blair, multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is a potentially disabling disease of the brain and spinal cord. Signs and symptoms of MS vary on the amount of nerve damage and which nerves are being affected. Some people with severe MS may lose the ability to walk independently or at all. Selma Blair first shared her diagnosis with MS on Instagram in October 2018. The actress stated, I quote, "I was in this wardrobe fitting 2 days ago, and I am in the deepest gratitude. So profound it is, I've decided to share. The brilliant costumer Alissa Swanson not only designs the pieces, but she carefully gets my legs in my pants, pulls my tops over my head, buttons my coats, and offers her shoulder to steady myself. I have MS." Blair admitted she felt off for some years and chalked it up to a pinched nerve. As of 2019, she now walks with a cane and continues to be open about her chronic illness on social media. Coming in at 10, Tom Hanks, diabetes. Tom Hanks is one of the most famous actors in cinematic history, having won multiple Oscars and Golden Globes throughout his long career. It is hard for him to keep anything out of the public eye, which was why it was such a shock to fans when we learned back in 2013 that he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. According to the actor, when he was diagnosed, the doctor told him, I quote, "You know those high blood sugar numbers you've been dealing with since you were 36? Well, you've graduated. You've got type 2 diabetes, young man." Tom also went on to state that despite not being consistently heavy, gaining and losing large amounts of weight for film roles is likely to have been a factor. He also stated that when he needed to gain weight for roles, he was living on junk food and taking very little exercise. Not a good move. Coming in at 9, Gene Wilder, Alzheimer's and lymphoma. Gene Wilder was a beloved actor who sadly passed away on August 29, 2016 at the age of 83. He was known for iconic films such as Young Frankenstein, The Producers and Blazing Saddles, but no role will ever be as iconic as Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in 1971. Now, prior to his death, Wilder had retreated away from the public eye, with the large majority of people having no idea whatsoever that he was battling Alzheimer's and lymphoma. Before he passed away, he explained that he kept his illnesses secret from the public so that if kids saw him and pointed him out as Willy Wonka, he wouldn't have to trouble them. He wanted to keep the fantasy alive. Coming in at 8, David Bowie, liver cancer. When legendary singer and actor David Bowie passed away on January 10, 2016, it was a shock to the entire world, with music fans being especially surprised, mostly because no one knew Bowie was even sick. Just 2 days after his 69th birthday and the release of the album Black Star, Bowie passed away from liver cancer in his New York City apartment. He had been diagnosed 18 months earlier with cancer but had not made the news of his sickness public. He did this because, to quote the legend himself, he wanted to go without any fuss. Following Bowie's death, fans gathered at street shrines and at Bowie's birthplace of Brixton, South London, where a mural is placed that shows him in his Aladdin Sane character. Coming at 7, Bret Michaels, heart disease. Bret Michaels is best known for being the lead singer of the glam metal band Poison, who have sold over 40 million records worldwide and 15 million records in the United States alone. In 2010, however, Bret Michaels suffered a mini stroke caused by a hole in his heart. Mini strokes are typically caused by a blood clot, according to the American Stroke Association. To repair the hole in his heart, doctors inserted a catheter into a vein in Michael's groin and guided a device up into his heart, where it will stay permanently to stop abnormal blood flow between the two chambers of the heart. Without treatment, the singer could have been at risk for developing blood clots and having another stroke. Statistics show that 795,000 Americans suffer from a stroke each year. However, the difference between a stroke and a mini stroke is that a mini stroke's blockage of blood flow to the brain is temporary, leaving no permanent damage. Coming at 6, Aaron Carter, hiatal hernia. Former teenage sensation Aaron Carter, known for music such as I Want Candy, Aaron's Party and I'm All About You, is another celebrity on our list who sadly suffers from a chronic illness. The former singer revealed that he was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia. For those who don't know, a hiatal hernia occurs when the upper part of your stomach bulges through the large muscle separating your abdomen and your chest. Now, because of this, Aaron's appetite is affected constipated, which in turn leaves him malnourished and restricts him from gaining weight. Coming in at 5, Gerard Butler, Tinnitus. Star of films such as 300, Olympus Has Fallen, Phantom of the Opera, London Has Fallen, and The Ugly Truth. Not critically acclaimed films by no means, but certainly fan favourites. However, surprisingly, Gerard suffers from tinnitus ever since he was a young child, during which time he had to have his right ear pressed to try and correct the condition. However, it did not work. To this day, he still suffers from the condition that has left him hard of hearing in the same ear. Tinnitus is a medical condition that causes a constant ringing in the ear, and more interesting still, the actor has previously stated that the reason he has a crooked smile is because of this condition. Sadly, there is no cure for his condition, which leaves the star constantly hearing a buzzing in his ear 24/7. That would drive me mad. Coming in at 4, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Major Scoliosis. Vampire-killing Buffy the Vampire Slayer star Sarah Michelle Gellar suffers from a medical condition called major scoliosis that affects her body in a horrible way. Scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine that occurs most often during the growth spurt just before puberty. Now, although most cases of scoliosis are mild, some spine deformities continue to get more severe as children grow. In some cases, the condition can even be disabling. It can also cause a lot of discomfort for whoever has it, and for the most part you can tell by just looking at the back of a person if they have it. In Sarah's case, she controlled the discomfort by exercising and doing Pilates. And on top of that, she has never been ashamed to show her back to the public, even opting for backless dresses to award shows and other events. If scoliosis is caught early enough, a person can be corrected by wearing braces to straighten the spine. Otherwise, it can only be corrected by surgical treatment. Coming in at 3, Sasha Peters, PCOS. Famous star Pretty Little Liars Sasha Peters has been on the scene for a few years now, initially making it big as a model back in 2014, landing a cover of Bello magazine with the issue focusing on young Hollywood. However, Sasha had already been in the entertainment industry long before that, first appearing on our screens at the age of 6 years old, co-starring in 2002 as Buffy on the WB's remake of Family Affairs. However, it wasn't until she landed the role of Alison De Laurentiis in the ABC family series Pretty Little Liars that she became a household name. However, a few years ago, Sasha revealed that she had been diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, a hormonal disorder which is common among young women of reproductive age. Women who suffer from the condition may have infrequent and prolonged menstrual periods or excess male hormone levels. Not only that, the ovaries may develop numerous small collections of fluid and fail to regularly release eggs. However, in Sasha's case, it contributed to her weight gain, which almost everyone began commenting on following Pretty Little Liars. The actress stated, I quote, "I had no idea what was going on. I didn't have any way of solving it. Very recently I was diagnosed with PCOS and I finally knew why this was happening to me." Coming in at 2, Cher, Epstein-Barr virus. Singer and actress Cher has been on the scene since the early 60s, with the singer rising to fame with songs like I Got You Babe, Believe, Half-Breed, and Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves. The singer also made a name for herself in the world of acting, starring in films such as Silkwood, Mask, The Witches of Eastwick, Moonstruck, and of course Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. However, since the late 80s, the star has been suffering from a condition that just won't go away, Epstein-Barr virus, also known as human herpes virus 4. This condition is a member of the herpes virus family and is found all over the world, and what most people don't know is that most people get infected with EBV at some point in their lives. The disease is spread through bodily fluids, primarily saliva, and can cause mono and other illnesses. Symptoms of EBV include fatigue, fever, inflamed throat, swollen lymph nodes in the neck, enlarged spleen, swollen liver, and rashes. After getting diagnosed, Cher was forced to take 3 years off from work just to try and get better, with the star even flying to Germany to seek treatment. According to Cher herself, the symptoms at one point were so severe she thought she might die. Through all of her treatments and efforts, her condition will never go away and has had a devastating aftermath of chronic fatigue syndrome. And finally, coming in at number 1, Sia, Graves' disease. Sia is a super talented musical genius who is behind some of the greatest songs of our generation, including Chandelier, Cheap Thrills, Elastic Heart, with the singer also writing Diamonds by Rihanna, Pretty Hurts by Beyonce, and Titanium by David Guetta. This Aussie singer is a fan favorite in the music industry and shot to superstardom as soon as she hit the scene, with the singer opting to conceal her face by wearing overly large wigs at red carpet events and even on stage. However, most fans don't know that Sia was diagnosed with Graves' disease a few years ago. Graves is an autoimmune disorder that causes hyperthyroidism, aka an overactive thyroid. With this condition, the immune system attacks the thyroid and causes it to make more thyroid hormone than your body needs. If Graves' disease is left untreated, it can lead to serious health problems with the heart, bones, muscles, menstrual cycle, and even fertility. Now, although the disease usually affects people between the ages of 30 to 50, it can occur at any age, with the disease being 7 to 8 times more common in women than men. For those wondering, the symptoms of Graves' disease are fast and irregular heartbeat, diarrhea, heat intolerance, nervousness or irritability, tiredness, muscle weakness, trembling hands, trouble sleeping, and weight loss. If you are suffering from any of these symptoms, be sure to contact a healthcare specialist. Coming in at 10, Lil Wayne, epilepsy. Famous rapper Lil Wayne has always been transparent about his epilepsy, with the singer being hospitalized a few times in his career due to severe seizures. For those who don't know, epilepsy is a brain disorder that is specifically characterized by seizures, and these seizures can vary, even being completely unpredictable. Not only that, but they can also manifest in different ways, such as dizziness, confusion, repetitive motions, staring, or jerky movements. In 2013, Lil Wayne had 3 back-to-back seizures that forced the star to slow down in order to de-stress, the ultimate reason for why the star disappeared from the spotlight. Coming in at 9, Sarah Hyland, kidney dysplasia. Famous for playing Haley Dunphy on the long-running ABC sitcom Modern Family, Sarah Hyland is a big name in Hollywood and a fan favorite among young teens. However, most don't know that the star suffers from kidney dysplasia, a condition that occurs when the internal structure of a fetus's kidneys develop abnormally in the womb. The star underwent a kidney transplant in 2012 and a second one in 2017 after her body rejected the first one. Sarah stated, I quote, "For those who are chronically ill and in chronic pain, have you had the experience of doctors not listening to you? If so, how do you not tear their heads off with your bare hands?" Wow. Preach. Coming in at 8, Kristen Chenoweth, Meniere's disease. Kristen Chenoweth is a star of stage and screen, appearing in Wicked and even having a recurring role on Glee during its runtime. We know how talented the star is and know that there is literally no note she cannot hit. Her voice is absolutely incredible, which is why it's shocking to learn that this singer suffers from Meniere's disease, a disorder of the inner ear that can cause pressure, vertigo, tinnitus, and even hearing loss. Kind of shocking for a star that spends the majority of her career singing. Now, the condition can be caused by inner ear deterioration, a head injury, allergies, or even infections. Now, Kristen's cause is unknown, but many have speculated that it may have been related to the severe head injury she suffered while on the set of The Good Wife, after a lighting fixture fell on her. However, it has been unconfirmed. Coming in at 7, Carrie-Ann Inaba, Sjogren's syndrome. Former dancer and host of popular long-running series Dancing with the Stars, Carrie-Ann Inaba opened up to People's magazine about her Sjogren's syndrome disease, an autoimmune disease that can cause dry eyes, dry mouth, joint pain, fatigue, as well as other symptoms. The star stated, I quote, "There were days I could barely make my coffee because I was so exhausted." She also went on to state that therapy, acupuncture, Pilates, and yoga have helped her through the condition. However, she still suffers from flare-ups. On top of that, the star also suffers from fibromyalgia, a condition that results in constant pain, accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues. Coming in at 6, Gina Rodriguez, Hashimoto's disease. Known for her leading role as Jane Gloriana Villanova in the CW dramedy series Jane the Virgin, for which she received a Golden Globe Award back in 2015, this actress has been incredibly open about her Hashimoto's disease diagnosis. This condition is the most common cause of hypothyroidism, a condition that leads to an underactive thyroid, which in turn impacts the way your body puts energy to use. Gina told Self that her diagnosis came at the age of 26 and felt like the curse of a lifetime, which causes the star to gain weight, have memory issues, as well as other symptoms. I quote, "I've had it for so many years that rebellion of not taking care of myself can't exist anymore." Gina takes medication, has adjusted her diet, and has even integrated more exercise into her day in order to manage the disease. Coming in at 5, Seal discoid lupus erythematosus. Arguably one of the world's greatest singers, Seal is known for hits such as Kiss from a Rose, Stand By Me, Crazy, and Fly Like an Eagle. He is an incredible artist and a trailblazer in the soul and R&B genre. Now, Seal is known for his music, yes, but he's also known for the very unique scars he has on his face. Now, this is actually a result of a severe form of lupus that causes intense inflammation and skin lesions around the neck, face, and skull. Coming in at 4, George Clooney, chronic pain. Hollywood royalty George Clooney is famous for starring in some of the most critically acclaimed movies, including The Ides of March, Up in the Air, Michael Clayton, The Descendants, Ocean's 11, and Burn After Reading. However, did you know George Clooney suffers from chronic pain? According to reports, it all started back in 2005 after the actor sustained serious injuries on the set of Syriana. While filming a scene in which his character was being tortured, Clooney fell off a chair and split open his head. However, the injury was much worse than he initially thought. Clooney later learned that he had torn his dura, the outer layer around his spinal cord, and fluid was leaking out. He went on to have surgery on Christmas Day in 2005, but he's battled chronic pain ever since. Coming in at 3, Gabrielle Union, adenomyosis. Gabrielle Union is best known for starring in films such as Bring It On, Bad Boys 2, 10 Things I Hate About You, and She's All That. However, this popular actress revealed a few years back that she was diagnosed with adenomyosis. For those who don't know, adenomyosis is a condition in which the inner lining of the uterus breaks through the muscle wall of the uterus. It can cause menstrual cramps, lower abdominal pressure, and bloating before periods, and can result in heavier periods. Now, the condition is quite common and is often diagnosed in middle-aged women and women who have had children. Some studies also suggest that women who have had prior uterine surgery may be at risk for the condition. Speaking at the Blog Her conference in New York City, Gabrielle Union said, I quote, "Towards the end of my fertility journey, I finally got some answers because everyone said, you're a career woman, you prioritized your career, you waited too long and now you're just too old to have a kid, and that's on you for wanting a career. The reality is I actually have adenomyosis." However, after multiple miscarriages and many rounds of IVF, Union had a baby via a surrogate last year. Coming in at 2, Hugh Jackman, skin cancer. In 2013, Hollywood actor Hugh Jackman posted a photo to social media that showed him with a large bandage affixed to his nose, with a caption that read, I quote, "An example of what happens when you don't wear sunscreen. Basal cell, the mildest form of cancer but serious nonetheless. Please use sunscreen and get regular checkups." Basal cell carcinoma is an uncontrolled growth which can look like an open sore or red patch, or even appear as a shiny bump or scar. According to some reports, this type of cancer is usually caused by a combination of cumulative and intense occasional sun exposure. Since his initial diagnosis, he's been treated 5 times and had cancerous cells removed from his nose and shoulder. However, what makes Jackman an absolutely incredible actor and a man of his art is that during the pitch for The Greatest Showman, Jackman was advised by doctors to not sing, because there was a chance his stitches in his nose might tear. However, once in the room and once the music began to play, Jackman ignored warning signs and sang nonetheless, and in turn got the movie greenlit. And finally, coming in at number 1, Angelina Jolie, BRCA. Hollywood royalty Angelina Jolie is a fan favorite and has been throughout the majority of her career. She is known for work such as Girl Interrupted, Maleficent, Changeling, Lara Croft, and The Bone Collector. Unfortunately, Jolie is yet another actress on our list who suffers from a chronic illness. On February 16, 2013, Jolie underwent a preventive double mastectomy after learning she had an 87% risk of developing breast cancer due to a defective BRCA1 gene. Her maternal family history warranted genetic testing for the mutation. Her mother, actress Marshalline Bertrand, had breast cancer and died from ovarian cancer, while her grandmother died from ovarian cancer as well. Following the mastectomy, the actress had reconstructive surgery involving implants and allografts. However, 2 years later, in March 2015, tests revealed possible signs of early ovarian cancer, so Jolie underwent more procedures, this time a preventive salpingo-oophorectomy, and she had a 50% risk of developing ovarian cancer due to the same genetic anomaly. Due to the surgery, this brought on premature menopause.
Starting us off at number 10 is Daniel Rugani. The Italian soccer star tested positive for the virus at just 25 years old. TMZ Sports announced his diagnosis, saying that he is currently asymptomatic, but anyone who he's had contact with in recent weeks have also been quarantined for safety precautions. Among many others, this list includes his teammate Cristiano Ronaldo, who has not personally tested positive but is also isolated so that he doesn't catch the virus. It was a big deal for Italy since he played for their national team team, and he's actually the first player in their top league to catch it. The team still continued with practice after his confirmed testing, but that was until Italy went on a nationwide lockdown and all sports have been suspended until April 3rd. Up next, number 9 is Sophie Trudeau. This was big news over here for us Canadians because she is the wife of our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. So for obvious reasons, our country was concerned for his health as well, seeing as it's wildly contagious and they are in close corners and probably sharing a kiss or two. After she tested positive for coronavirus, the Prime Minister made it a point to reassure the country that she is going to be okay and that he is feeling fine. He issued a statement saying she is feeling well, is taking all the recommended precautions, and her symptoms remain mild. As for himself, he says he doesn't have any of the symptoms and is feeling totally fine. They both have been quarantined inside their home for safety precautions, but his office confirmed he will continue to fulfill all of his duties as Prime Minister and has been holding his meetings over the phone. Swiping our number 8 spot is Rudy Gobert. This is a fine example of karma coming back for you. The NBA player was doing a press conference after a game and started poking fun at the virus, touching all the microphones on purpose and making jokes about it. But just 2 days later, he tested positive for it. Following the announcement of his diagnosis, the NBA announced that they would be suspending the current season. As a result, all 5 teams who have played against Rudy, including the Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons, and Toronto Raptors, were all instructed to self-quarantine. Now, I don't wish bad karma on anyone, especially in this case, but that is kinda what you get for touching all those microphones. In spot number 7 is Donovan Mitchell. He was Rudy's teammate who got the virus not long after he did, becoming the second NBA player to have it. They suspect that he got it because Rudy was being careless in the locker room in terms of touching other players and their belongings, even though that they were given warnings about the severity of the situation. Mitchell spoke out for the first time recently on Instagram since he tested positive to thank all of those who have reached out to him since the news broke. He updated his fans through a video saying that he feels fine and is in isolation. Overall, he seems fine and he's playing video games all day, which for a lot of people doesn't sound all that bad. Rolling into the number 6 spot is Paulo Dybala. The soccer star kept insisting that he was feeling fine after reports said he tested positive for But after the news broke, he immediately started denying the claims, and the Italian club also denied the rumors. He wasn't the first soccer player to test positive for it, so the Serie A was suspended for a while after Italy was put down in a full lockdown. His teammate Daniel Rugani was the first player to test positive, and he shared a dressing room with him, so it just kind of makes sense that this might happen. He was put in isolation and posted on social media saying, "Hello everyone, I wanted to confirm that I am well and in voluntary isolation. Thank you for all the messages, and I hope you are well. Hashtag no fake news." He is claiming that he did not test positive for the virus, but isolated himself for safety precautions after his teammate tested positive. However, the reports are saying that he tested positive, so not really sure. We're halfway through at number 5, and we have Mikel Arteta. The football coach tested positive for the and the club's next scheduled game was postponed immediately, for obvious reasons. The Gunners closed their training ground, and any club staff who had recent contact with him was told to self-isolate themselves. He spoke about his diagnosis publicly and said, "This is really disappointing. I took the test after feeling poorly. I will be at work as soon as I am allowed." The club is still trying to discuss future strategies moving forward. We're here now at number 4, and we have Janet Broderick. She is the older sister of actor Matthew Broderick and is also known for being a popular public figure to the All Saints Church in Beverly Hills. She's 64 years old and became ill after attending a conference in Louisville, Kentucky. The church said that she initially received treatment for viral symptoms, but was later admitted into the ICU where she tested positive for Her symptoms quickly got worse, and she is being treated for a severe form of pneumonia. The church did make a public statement on her behalf, saying, "She is receiving the best medical care available, and her doctor's prognosis is for a complete and full recovery." She later released her own statement and said that she is thankful for the prayers and the support. In our 3rd spot is Callum Hudson-Odoi. The soccer star was diagnosed with the virus and recently announced that he has recovered from it. His team has been in isolation since finding out the results, but his recovery was quick. Yay! gives me a lot of hope for this world. He posted a video on Twitter and started by saying, "Hi guys, as you may be aware, I've had the virus for the last couple of days, which I've recovered from." He explained that he is following the health guidelines and self-isolating himself for another week to make sure that he doesn't spread any kind of germs or bacteria. The team released a statement saying that those who have come into close contact with him are also self-isolating themselves and will return to work hopefully within another week. Taking over the number 2 spot is Nadine Dorries. The health minister has become the first MP to be diagnosed with the virus, and reports say she may have gotten it from the reception they held promoting concerns about the spread of it. She's been the Conservative MP for Mid-Bedfordshire since 2004 and also a best-selling author of fiction novels. The Department of Health and Social Care confirmed that she tested positive for the infection and announced that the identity of the person who infected her is unknown. They have been focusing on tracking down who it could be and testing the potential people she came in contact with in the past week. But that is hundreds of people, obviously given her profession. They are mainly concerned with testing people in the Parliament and, of course, the rest of the health department. All right, guys, we have made it to number 1, and we have Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson. The 63-year-old actor revealed through Instagram that he and his wife both tested positive for coronavirus. Tom was in Australia doing pre-production work for the new Elvis Presley project, which is coming out in 2021. Fingers crossed that is still happening. Production for the movie has been put on hold since the actor and his wife, who was there with him, have been hospitalized and placed under quarantine. He explained in his post that they are not feeling well and are experiencing just standard flu-like symptoms, such as fever, chills, and body aches. He posted a picture of a surgical glove in a disposal garbage bag and explained the situation and wished well on everyone else. Tom has promised to keep their fans informed, and both of their sons, Chet and Colin Hanks, also announced on their social media that they would share updates on their parents' health. So if you want to stay in the loop, go and follow those peeps.